Rich don't work for money.
Right.
The reason is money is toxic. After 1971, people who work for money are getting poorer because the way your wealth is sucked out of you by the Fed, by the U.S. Treasury, and by our government and our school system is the people that work for money get poorer. The people that save money get poorer. And the people that invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs, they're temporarily rich, but in a flash, they can lose it all. If you're going to be educated, a person has to know there's been credit and debt. So that's why I can ask the demographics. I generally speak to different groups, but primarily my groups are very well-educated entrepreneurs. But so many people want to get rich, but they have horrible teachers. And then they work for fake money. And that's why I'm mentioning the demographics, because the average person is not smart enough to handle that. All money today is credit. It doesn't exist. Credit is very simply the power to spend. That's all it is. So when you have a credit card, there's no money in that thing. They've just given you the power to spend. And the moment you spend it, you create debt. US dollar is fake. They print trillions of it every month, every day. And then you buy these fake assets. I don't touch that stuff, but the average person should. So that's why demographics and a person's desire to be rich is probably more important than their education. I said, I want you to teach me about money. So why should I teach you? You go to school, my poor dad's not going to teach. He says, I said, oh, finally he acquiesced. He said, okay. He says, but if I teach you, you work for me for free. And I said, why for free? And my poor dad went nuts. He says, so if I pay you, you think like an employee. Your brain will change. If you learn never to work for money, you'll be a rich man. So my dad, the poor dad.
And the backstory for people, your dad was the poor dad.
Right.
PhD.
Stanford, Northwestern, University of Chicago, the head of education for the state of Hawaii, candidate for lieutenant governor of Hawaii as a Republican of all things. They know nothing about money, and they teach our kids.
Right.
They're good people, but 80% are good people. 20% just are there for the pension and the paycheck. So you may say, well, aren't you working for money? But we'll go into that next. I don't want what's called a paycheck. I want cash flow. So that's what I mean by the rich don't work for money. You want cash flow that pays very little taxes, and I can use lots of debt over here. The average person who went to school, their biggest liability they have is student loans, of course. I mean, it's horrible what they do to you guys today. You have student loan, which is the worst type of debt of all because you cannot declare bankruptcy on it. Then you get out, you try and buy a house, and you call it an asset when it's really a liability. Why? Because the cash is flowing that way. Your house costs you money. You rent a house, still costs you money. Then you have to have a nice car. I had one of those. So the problem with most young people is they go to school to get that job. Then a lot of them have student loan debt. Then they try and get married and buy a house, have a car, and then they have credit card debt. But they never have the chance to come over here. If they do any investing in America, it's a 401k, which I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. You should, but I don't, because I don't have to. Because I went to school for here, and people who don't go to school should be here. This is a 401k, IRA, ETFs, and that stuff. Paper, savings. I don't touch that stuff. That money is fake. Gold is real. So anyway, we almost got captured that day. Anyway, I carried and sailed to Hong Kong, and I bought my first piece of gold. And this was 1972. And I paid about $50 for it. And today that Krugerrand, South African Krugerrand, is worth $1,500 or $1,450 today. So did the Krugerrand get bigger or did the dollar go down? Do you know what I mean? So ever since that day, I just saved gold and silver. And I call gold and silver God's money and the US dollar fake money or fiat currency. Now there's cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and that's going to cause, I'm not an expert at Bitcoin because I don't have to be because I don't need money, but it's going to cause havoc because it's going to give the Fed a lot of trouble because a lot of people are shifting to crypto right now. So everybody can make crypto. I don't know what the big deal about it is. You can just produce your own now. So they're competing with the Fed and these guys. So that's what fake's about. But the most important thing in fake is I write about the tax law, which most people don't know about. But I also write about how I create infinite returns. I don't need money. And so and that's what the financial education I went through is I can go anywhere and make money using debt. I can use other people's money. So since I don't need money, I save gold and silver. And that's kind of my MO. And I don't touch stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs because that's amateurs' money. Only amateurs touch that stuff. That's why I stay out of it. Not if you don't know any better, stay in it. And the rich don't work for money in my head. I said, okay, I'm making all this money. I have a secure job, but what's beyond that? And that's where education comes in. So if I could explain this to you for the rest of the millennial lessons, it's really going to be on this theme here, because financial education is about not working for money. Like one of the first questions when I finally realized what my rich dad was saying, I said, well, when do I never need a paycheck again? So my goal wasn't, go to the moon or, cure cancer. My job was, when would I never need a paycheck?
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
What to do in such a situation? Inform yourself and keep your financial education strong. We from the Compact Group offer our loyal subscribers a free educational portal with first-hand monetary, financial, and economic knowledge. Enter our invite-only Insider Club by clicking the link below. You will get access to first-class information far earlier than the rest. We have prepared a special deal for all our members where you can access a giant pool of Robert Kiyosaki's financial wisdom for just $1. To find out more, simply click the link below and join our Insider Club absolutely free. But there is more you can and should do. Build up several streams of income. More and more people realize that they have to take their future in their own hands, but they don't know how and where to start. We from Compact offer our Insider Club members unique opportunities. Strengthen your financial muscle and get the edge. Click the link below. Become part of our free Insider Club. No financial obligations. But there's one important thing you have to know. You have to become active. So do it now. Become active and see you on the other side.